Right, another thing you can do to get the dopamine surging through the body. Dopamine is my favourite happy hormone, in case you hadn't noticed, because it's more than happiness. It's productivity. It's linked to all those higher brain functions, like I said before. So it improves concentration, focus, but most of all, because it's coming up the neck, because we actually store dopamine in our gut, but I don't want to get too nerdy on you. It actually, if you see this little hollow bit of the neck, the vagus nerve starts either side of that and runs down the neck. So when you massage there, not only is it fabulously relaxing, because we all love having our necks stretched because they're always bent over screens and bent over phones, it stretches the neck, but you're surging up this dopamine. Plus, you're on these still points, they're called still points or mama points. Along here, you've got still points. And those are exactly what it says on the tin. They bring the body to stillness. Dopamine, by the way, as well, this is really exciting, as well as stimulating you, it lowers heart rate and it evens out blood pressure. So don't do it on anyone who's got low blood pressure. Oh, and don't do this one on anyone who has cancer, because it could travel through the lymph. The temples one is okay, but not this one. Right, we're off. It's so simple. So I always keep one hand on, because I just feel it's nice to have that nurture. So I'm going to tilt my lovely son James' head forward. Look at his lovely head. Look at the back of that lovely head. And off we go with the dopamine. So I'm literally going, I'm following that path. I'm on the vagus nerve, which carries dopamine. Oh, our body's wonderful. I did make my science teacher cry when I was 15. I don't know whether it was all me or whether he'd had a bad day, but probably I tipped him over the edge. I was awful at science. I shouldn't really say this, should I? But I was. But now I can see all these amazing things our bodies do. I love it. And I've become a bit of a nerd. So you've got your 3 fingers on this side. If it's a little person, you might only need 2. And your thumb on the other side. And what you're doing is you're moving up and squeezing, up and squeezing. So it's like you should see a little bit of flesh between your fingers, like you're making little flesh sandwiches. That sounds really disgusting, but that's what you're doing. And I'm going right up into that ridge here. This is beautiful. Everybody loves having this done. And then you keep your thumb still, no, your fingers still, and go up with your thumb. If you're left-handed, it will be the other way round, so don't worry. Up, always up. Then back to the bottom and up again. And it's this motion. You're pushing and going up, and then it's down with the fingers, like that. For anybody who has sleeping problems, going to sleep, staying asleep, waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to go back to sleep, this is fantastic. And it's so good to lower those levels of stress and anxiety, because you're lowering the heart rate and evening out the blood pressure and pushing up all that dopamine. So from there, and this is the last bit, I can't stop talking because it's so exciting. Ready? Middle finger pressure. Not because you're swearing at anybody, but because the first finger is too pokey and invasive, and these 2 are useless. So it's middle finger pressure. You're supporting the head, and you always go from, you never ever go in that hollow bit, because that collects the cerebral spinal fluid, so you don't want to go poking around in there. Middle finger pressure, and if you want to know where that ridge is, where the still points are, if you push your hand up the neck, it's that first bony ridge that pokes out, that joins the bottom of the head to the top of the neck. That's where you want, but you're going underneath it, just underneath it, because we're not massaging bones. So you're going underneath it and you don't break contact. Middle finger pressure. And you're going in all those delicious little pits and hollows underneath the occipital ridge. My little rainbow kids call it the octopus ridge. And I said it, I called it that once accidentally when I was doing a talk, and I had to cough to try and, you know, cover up. Anyway, so you just don't break contact. And this is where we feel a lot of tightness. And here, you're on those still points. So if you've got a child who's freaking out, is really upset, you feel upset, I'm going to turn and do the other side now. You always do both sides in massage. You have to be balanced. So this is as simple as that. And within a family, on a friends and family basis, this is also really important while you're in isolation, because as well as flooding you with dopamine, easing the stress and anxiety, calming and grounding and relaxing someone, touch boosts immunity. Touch has become more taboo than ever now, but actually we need it. So within our families, obviously not taking it out and doing it on other people, this is lovely to do. Thank you for letting me borrow your head, James. I've just got one more thing to add. Ready? I'm just going to move over here, Chiara. Ready? You can also do it on yourselves. So, oh, sorry for that. If you are in isolation yourself, you can do the temple thing on yourself. You can get the children to do it on themselves, because it's very important children are empowered. And you can also do the occiput one. So push your fingers up your neck, find that ridge, and just underneath it, and give the neck a good stretch while you do it. So you can do it